Okay, I had to keep track of two different things here. One, a combination of planes getting landing and getting killed. I'm doing this with counter A. Counter set to three planes. And I have to keep track to see if all planes get killed. I did that with counter B. Three planes, the counter set to three, and in both instances, this reset after operation has to be checked. So to make the game count when these planes get killed, highlight a plane, right click on it, selected object menu, on killed event, gives me a target icon, and I just clicked on the counter and I get this purple line. So if this plane gets killed, counter goes to 1. If this plane gets killed, counter goes to 2. If this plane gets killed, counter goes to 3. This counter goes off. Now, to keep track of planes getting killed and landed, I did the same thing. I established a on killed link for all the planes to this counter. So if any of these planes get killed, this counter is going to advance by 1. Now we have to track when the planes land. That's this purple line here. Oop. And I did this with this complex trigger. I'm going to double click it. I've got it enabled. It's got a radius of 200 and it's a sphere because this is not checked. Check entities means that the complex trigger will check for AI and humans. So if you're doing AI, which we're doing in this case, this box has to be checked. Any events you plan to use for the complex trigger down here, add event, they have to be checked off first. It seems a little redundant, but that's the way it works. So I added an event, on object finished, which is how the game determines if a plane landed. And I did a find target, and I did counter A landed and killed. So when I selected this and hit OK, it made the link from the complex trigger to the counter. So if one plane lands, this complex trigger is going to go off once. Counter A is going to have a value of 1. Second plane lands, the counter is going to have a value of 2. Now down here, these are the waypoints right before the land. I put in these little timers. And the reason I did that is I noticed that if two planes happen to land at the same time, you might not get a 2 into your counter. So this is a delay. Plane 1 is going to land first. 20 seconds later, plane 2 is going to land. And then 25 seconds later, plane 3 is going to land. They kind of still land all at the same time, but there's enough of a gap between them landing for this counter not to get screwed up. End of part 2.